Howdy, everybody. It's me, Bob Harris, Football Diehards. We're here for the Saturday injury update. We'll start out in New England. Tom Brady's back. You might not have heard this, right? He'll be dealing with a few less than full speed complimentary pieces. LeGarrette Blount, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, all listed as questionable, all expected to play. It's the hip, knee, and hamstring, respectively, for those guys. Gronk should begin ramping it up a little bit, maybe with Brady back against a Cleveland defense that'll spur him. Edelman looked good in practice on Friday, should be fine for this one. In addition, Corey Coleman on the other side of the ball ruled out. He's still a month away from returning with a hand injury he suffered in practice a couple weeks ago. For the Bears, Alshon Jeffrey questionable, Eddie Royal questionable, Zach Miller questionable, knee, calf, and ribs respectively. Royal did not practice all week long. He's a bit of a concern. Cameron Meredith, next man up for the Bears, the wideout. Kadeem Carey, Jeremy Langford, both listed. Well, Carey questionable, Langford doubtful, expect neither to play. Jordan Howard should get the bulk of the carries once again. Kevin White placed on IR with the high ankle sprain and lower leg fracture. So a big worry in Minnesota. Stephon Diggs listed as doubtful. Their leading receiver with a groin injury. Seems like he will not play. Could be good news for guys like Kyle Rudolph, Jerick McKinnon, maybe even Cordero Patterson, a continued role for him, assuming that Diggs won't play. On the other side of the ball, C.J. Fedorowicz listed as questionable with a knee. Jonathan Grimes ruled out with the ankle. That would be an extended period. Braxton Miller is going to return from his hamstring injury. He'll play in the slot, the rookie receiver in this one. For the Lions, Marvin Jones listed as questionable with foot injury. Sounds like he practiced Friday. Should be good to go. Eric Ebron ruled out ankle and knee. Another week for Ebron, not ready to go. Dwayne Washington also doubtful in this game with an ankle injury. Theo Riddick and Zach Zenner are likely to be your primary rushing weapons, or as much rushing as the Lions do, right, against the Philadelphia Eagles. Other side of the ball, Ryan Matthews, healthy, should be fine. For the Jets, Quincy Enunwa has been listed as questionable with a knee issue. He seems like he'll be good to go. Eric Decker has been ruled out. Matt Forte not on the injury report, so expect him to play. Had knee and rib issues, but not bad enough to be on the injury report. For the Baltimore Ravens, Kenneth Dixon listed as questionable. He is expected to play. This seems like more of a Terrence West week, right? So Dixon is on the mend, practiced all week, expect him to play a role, but we'll see how big this weekend going forward. Max Williams listed as out because he's been placed on IR with a knee issue, and he will not be back again this year. No big loss there, fantasy-wise anyway. Josh Doxson out for the Washington Redskins, again with the Achilles. For the Miami Dolphins, Arian Foster is listed as doubtful with a hamstring injury. Jay Ajayi, Kenyon Drake, they're going to narrow it down to two backs. Those seem the two most likely. You might want to watch the inactive reports tomorrow for just to verify that. Jordan Cameron has been ruled out with a concussion. This will be the second game he's missed with that. In the late afternoon games, those were all the early kickoffs. Late afternoon games, Trevor Siemian listed as questionable with the shoulder issue. Boy, he seems dicey, right? Paxton Lynch is standing by. Siemian did more in practice than people expected, but local observers think he looks like he's favoring that left shoulder. It's his non-throwing shoulder. He'd have to be able to take a hit. Virgil Green listed as questionable in that game, should return. Demarius Thomas taken off the injury report despite the hip issues. In the Oakland Raiders, Latavius Murray ruled out. DeAndre Washington and Jalen Richard should be very busy against the San Diego Chargers, so will the passing attack. Clyde Walford, will he be a part of it? Listed as questionable with a knee issue. You'll have to watch that one on the late breaking updates section. Antonio Gates on the other side of the ball there, listed as questionable, working his way back from the hamstring injury. Hunter Henry's been filling in nicely. Not sure they'll rush Gates back, but you'll want to watch that. The Dallas Cowboys, Des Bryant listed as questionable. Lance Dunbar listed as questionable. Knees for both. Don't expect either to play. Bryant didn't practice all week. They're not going to rush him back. Bryce Butler, the sneaky play there. Dan Bailey, kicker, listed as questionable with back issue. They did not sign another kicker, and on Saturday tested him. They feel like he'd do okay. He wasn't as effective as usual last week with the issue, however. Tyler Eifert out again for the Bengals this week against the Cowboys. Back issue, suffering a setback. It was coming back from the ankle, injured his back in Monday's practice, so he's out another week. Marvin Lewis downplaying the severity of it, so maybe he'll be back soon. James Wright, right receiver, also listed as doubtful with a hamstring injury. For the Buffalo Bills, LaShawn McCoy listed as questionable with a hand. He insists he'll play. He bruised it in practice on Friday. This seems like he'll play. I can't imagine him not, but you'll need to watch that one too. Charles Clay listed as questionable as well. Greg Salas placed on IR, so that puts more onus on Robert Woods, Marquise Goodwin, Walter Powell to pick up the pace there. Kenny Britt and Benny Cunningham both listed as questionable for the Rams, thigh and hamstring respectively. I would expect Britt to play. Not so sure about Cunningham. He was added late in the week. Sunday night game, Rashad Jennings listed as questionable. Maybe he makes his return. If not, Orleans Darkwa, Bobby Rainey and Paul Perkins will continue to fill in. Larry Donnell ruled out at tight end. Will Tye will get the start and the bulk of the workload. Jared Cook ruled out for the Packers, should be out for an extended period as well with his ankle injury. Richard Rodgers will continue to fill in. The Monday night game's a mess. Cam Newton's out. Jonathan Stewart's out. Mike Tolbert's questionable. Ted Ginn's questionable. Devin Funch is questionable against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For the Bucs, Charles Sims and Doug Martin, both listed as doubtful, neither expected to play. Jacquizz Rodgers will make the start there and be the primary back, so maybe he's a guy of some interest if you need to pivot away from some of these other players. That's it for this week's injury report. As always, watch the homepage on Sunday and through Monday night for all the game time and actives, and good luck this week. Get a win.